Against, yes, the Oakland A's from the American League West. And yeah, our old friend the Fanatic, after a tough week, he's feeling a little better. He might look a little different, but he's certainly feeling a little better that his ball club is back home. The Phillies got in very early this morning, but they are happy to be home as they get set to begin a 3-game series against the A's. It's a 6-game homestand against the American League. And although the day started very early for the Phils, it was active. Roy Oswalt placed on the DL with a stiff back. Ryan Schneider activated from the DL. He's in the starting lineup. Scott Matheson will be in the bullpen for the Phillies. Dane Sardina's going back to Lehigh Valley. And J.C. Romero has cleared waivers and has been released from the ball club. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, along with Chris Wheeler. Sarge will be along in the 4th inning of today's ball game. Pretty interesting matchup, Wheels, between the Phillies and the Oakland A's. It was a few weeks ago that the A's were kind of teetering toward the top of the American League West, and now they've kind of slipped down a little bit behind everybody else.
Well, and they fell on some hard times. They got their manager fired, a new manager in here right now, and Bob Melvin. And the A's, well, they lost 2 out of 3 up in New York in a series they just completed. You see, they're okay at home, not so hot on the road. And look at their batting average, home runs, runs per game. They're one of those American League teams like we just saw with Seattle. They don't hit a whole lot, but look at that last thing on there. Earned run average, first in the American League with a 3.22 earned run average. Even though it's only June, you have an ERA like that in the American League, that's really good.
Yeah, and considering all the changes that the A's have had to their starting rotation, they've had a lot of injuries they've had to deal with, like every other team in Major League Baseball, and we'll see some of those changes this weekend.
Yeah, well, one of the changes is a kid they're going to pitch here tonight, Guillermo Moscoso. He is a young right-hander. They got him in a trade, and the Phillies will see him tonight. They've never seen these guys, really. Josh Outman, the guy you see will pitch in the final game on Sunday, he was in the Phillies organization and was in the Joe Blanton deal. The guy in the middle, he is really good, a sinker baller, Cahill. Now here are the Phillies guys who will go. Vance Worley here tonight. Cole Hamels will pitch the game on Saturday, and then Roy Halladay comes back in the series finale against an old American League rival, as he will pitch that game on Sunday against the Oakland Athletics. Vance Worley pitched the other night in Seattle. You know, he was pretty good in this game, considering the way he was when he went back to the minor leagues at AAA. He was really struggling with the Phillies and went back there and straightened himself out. The only negative, Tom, in this game was the fact that he was getting ahead of hitters so much, and then he wasn't quite able to put them away. But the good sign is that he was getting ahead of the hitters.
And the good news is for the Phillies, with the injury to Roy Oswalt, they have some depth, and Vance Worley is part of that depth, so he'll be out there tonight for the Phillies. So it's game 1 of a 3-game series. Shane Victorino has been moved down to the 5-hole. He has the best numbers of anybody in the Phillies lineup here at home. The lineup's at first pitch when we return. Oswald talking to Rich Doobie. Roy was placed on the disabled list today with a creaky back. In fact, he had an MRI earlier today. He's back in uniform, so maybe we'll get an update on whether on what his back condition is as this night moves on. If we do, we'll certainly pass it along. Ruben Amaro met with the media today, and he said, listen, we just want to get this guy healthy more than anything else. We put him on the disabled list because it's obviously been an ongoing issue, and we just want him to be healthy at some point this year. And that's exactly what Oswalt wants, too. In fact, Roy said last night that it's been bothering him even since he came off the disabled list, and he just didn't want to be labeled a quitter in any stretch. So that's why he tried to gut it out, and he just couldn't gut it out any longer. Phillies have taken the field. Let's take a look at the A's starting lineup, brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast. Leading it off at second base is Jameel Weeks. Cliff Pennington, the shortstop, bats second. Brian Sweeney hits third, followed by Hideki Matsui and Connor Jackson. David DeJesus, the New Jersey product, is over in right field. He'll bat sixth. Hitting seventh is Kurt Suzuki. Scott Sizemore, the third baseman, bats eighth. And batting ninth and pitching is Moscoso, who says that he is a power-hitting switch hitter, as he will face right-hander Vance Worley, the 23-year-old out of Sacramento, California, making his sixth start of the year.
Well, it'll be his first major league plate appearance when he shows you whether he's a power hitter or
first not. Professional plate appearance.
First professional plate appearance. As Tom said, there are the numbers on Vance Worley, or Southwest Airlines scouting report on him. He had really good stuff in his last time out. The only little bit of a problem was he was getting ahead of hitters, and then he couldn't quite finish them off. Look for a little bit better from that tonight. It is a smoking hot, humid night here, too, at Citizens Bank Park, so you can keep your pitch count down. It'd be a good thing. Hey, it's time now for our Nissan Keys to tonight's ball game. So nice to be back in this beautiful ballpark. And, well, you're going to expect some more low-scoring games this weekend, I would think, because neither one of these teams have scored a whole lot of runs this year. And hey, at one time the town wasn't big enough for these two teams, so the Phillies stayed. The Oakland Athletics, or the Philadelphia Athletics, moved on, and now they're back tonight as the Oakland Athletics. They left after the 1954 season, did the Oakland Athletics. I remember that, and to be honest, even at 9 years of age, there wasn't a whole lot of anguish about it when they left town. It was just one of those things.
Well, Bob Melvin took over as the manager of the A's a few weeks ago. Took over for Bob Guerin. Overall, his 8th major league season as a manager. He's managed the Diamondbacks. He's managed the Mariners. So here we go. Vance Worley's ready to fire the first pitch of the night to Jameel Weeks, the younger brother of Ricky Weeks, and it's over for strike one, and it's no balls and one strike.
They come at you with two switch hitters here at the top of the order, two young players that they like and think could be pretty good for them in the middle of the diamond.
Yeah, Weeks is a former #1 pick by the Oakland A's. This after being selected in the 8th round by the Milwaukee Brewers out of high school. He went on to play at the University of Miami. A little smaller than his brother Ricky. A 1-1 pitch at the knees, strike two. That's a 91-mile-an-hour fastball.
Doesn't have the Gary Sheffield waggle either with the bat the way his brother does.
Think about that. If he had signed with the Brewers, he'd probably be up in the majors partnering with his brother in one capacity or another. Low and inside, 2 balls and 2 strikes to Weeks.
And they're both playing the same position in the major leagues.
So far on this road trip, Weeks is 2 for 12. Just 24 years old, out of Orlando, Florida. And he tried to check, no appeal. Brian Schneider's doing the catching tonight. Schneider off the disabled list.
Well, here you go again. He was ahead of him. And now it's 3-2. And this is kind of what was going on the other night in Seattle. There's Brian back, as Tom said, off the DL.
That ball sliced foul into the seats. So it remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, Vance talked about that the other night against the Seattle Mariners. It's one of the reasons why he lasted just 5 innings, because his pitch count was up despite the fact that he allowed just 1 run. And there's ball 4. So Weeks draws a walk. During the 2011 season, Turkey Hill will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Grand Slam ice cream, sold to support the Phillies youth baseball and softball programs.
A lot of pitchers used last night. Well, not a lot of, but they got innings at stuff out of their bullpen last night, so they need their starter to go a little bit into this game and not off to a good start with a lot of pitches of the leadoff bat.
Phillies do have Scott Matheson available in the pen. He was just brought up from the minor leagues. Weeks has stolen 6 bases so far. He's been caught twice. As Pennington, another former #1 pick, takes a strike. It's 0-1. Pennington was a first-round pick back in 2005. And overall hitting .290 on the road, .251 for the season. One ball, one strike, the count to Pennington. Fouls it away, and it's 1-2. Pennington last year hit .250 with 6 home runs. He played in 74 games for the A's. And he stays alive as he hits it foul up the third base line. Weeks was going on contact. The A's are 8 games under 500 at 34-42. Their big issue, and we talked about this during the Open, is their record on the road. Now, it's not all Bob Melvin's doing, but they're 15-26 on the road. Now, they always say you should play 500 on the road and better than 500 at home. But 11 games under 500 on the road.
Well, that happens to a lot of teams that go on the road. You know, the Phillies have been such a good road team. We really get spoiled.
On the hands, a looper on one hop to Utley. Didn't come up. Rollins has one play at second. And that's it, because that ball hit the edge of the grass and didn't take the hop that Utley expected.
Right. Chase Utley thought that thing was going to come right to him on one hop, maybe get a double play, because Weeks had to hold up thinking it was a line drive, and it hit the cutout. And then it went straight down. Well, those are the kind that can go straight down like that and really full. Watch it hit right on there. And then it went down, and he does a good job just catching it and make sure you get one out of it.
Yeah, it wasn't hit that sharp as well. And Pennington does run well. He has stolen 6 bases. Here's Ryan Sweeney, who takes a strike. Sweeney in his 4th season with the Oakland A's. He is a fine defensive outfielder, as you see there, and he's playing center field tonight. Down and away, 1 ball and 1 strike. Sweeney was involved in the deal that sent Nick Swisher to the White Sox. The A's really made out they got Sweeney and Gio Gonzalez, a fine pitcher who the Phillies once had. And Gonzalez is one of the best left-handed pitchers in the American League.
I think he pitched at Reading one year for the Phillies and did a really good job. They liked him. You know, that was the year they went and won after Freddie Garcia. You know, just didn't work out.
Outside and high, 2 balls and 1 strike.
And the kid on Sunday is going to pitch for them, Outman, was with in the Blanton deal.
A foul ball makes it 2-2. So a lot of pitches here in the first for Vance Worley. And still just 1 man out and a runner over at first base. I think Brian Schneider and Vance Worley both wanted that pitch. It looked like it was a little outside. And Joe West was not given the corner.
Yeah, that's not a strike. Good job by Brian Schneider to frame it, but you know, it was a backdoor slider that didn't get Didn't get to that back door.
Joe West, the crew chief for this umpiring crew. Runner goes, ball chopped to shortstop. Rollins has one play, it's over at first, and it's in time to get Sweeney. So Pennington safe at second. And there are 2 outs.
Jimmy did a good job of holding his ground there too. I don't know that he was the guy that was covering with a left-handed hitter. It's kind of hard to tell there, but what he did nicely was come forward before he went and tried to back up any throw that was going to second base. And as a result, he maintained his position and was able to get an out on the play.
Well, here's Hideki Matsui. Some boos from the Phillies fans. They remember the 2009 World Series when he was the MVP for the Yankees. Well, since that time, he's been with the Angels and now the A's, and he's playing left field tonight for the A's because there's no designated hitter. And he takes a strike. It's 0-1. Matsui, who spent 7 years with the Yankees, hit 140 home runs. Outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. You saw that note about his home runs. He hit 332 in Japan. And if you combine his numbers in Japan and his numbers here in the States, he's 1 homer away from 500 for his career. Swing and a miss. 1-2. And wherever Hideki Matsui goes, it's the same with Ichiro. The reporters from Japan follow. And that's been the case since he began his major league career with the Yankees.
Yeah, we saw a lot of Japanese media out in Seattle last week.
When they talk about the two, Ichiro is apparently a very nice guy, but Matsui is a very accessible guy, particularly with the media. Breaking ball, little high, and it's 3-2 to Matsui.
Just not a smooth inning at all for Vance Worley, but so far so good. He hasn't gotten hurt. But 11 balls, 12 strikes to this point.
Working already with his third 3-ball, 2-strike count. With a runner at second, here's the pitch. Outside, ball 4. Second walk of the inning for Worley. Well, this is the backbreaker against Pedro Martinez by Hideki Matsui.
Yeah, he had a home run early in the ball game. That started the scoring, and then he had a 2-run base hit here. And he put the topper on it right there. I think that was Jay Happ who's in the game then as a reliever, and he doubled to right center. And they had the champagne on ice, and it was looking pretty good for the Yankees at that point.
He had some good at bats earlier in the series, but that game right there, what he did offensively, that won him the MVP. As Connor Jackson takes a strike. I mean, wouldn't you agree?
Yes. Yeah, because there were other guys, did some really good things in that World Series for the New York Yankees. But that was the pivotal game. Well, not the pivotal game. It was a clinching game, and he had a big game.
Connor Jackson has faced the Phillies before while being a member of the Arizona Diamondbacks. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
You get those shots of Bob Melvin over there in the dugout, and you keep thinking you're looking at Arizona, because he was there for a number of years, and Connor Jackson was one of his players.
Connor Jackson was ill his last couple of years with the Arizona Diamondbacks, and then was dealt over to the A's. Hits that one sharply, but right at Jimmy Rollins at short. He'll go the short way to get Matsui at second, and the side is retired. It took 27 pitches and a lot of work from Vance Worley, but he's through the first. We go to the bottom of the first. Lee pitched so well a couple of days ago. Worley had a rough first, but it's a scoreless game as we go to the bottom of the first. Let's take a look at the Phillies lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast. Leading off at shortstop, Jimmy Rollins. Placido Polanco bats second. Chase Utley hits third, followed by Ryan Howard and Shane Victorino. Raul Ibanez is in the 6th hole. He's in left field. Dominic Brown bats 7th. Ryan Schneider, the catcher, hits 8th. And batting 9th and pitching, of course, is Worley. And they will face 27-year-old right-hander Guillermo Moscoso, who's making his 6th major league start. He has pitched in games before Wheels with the Texas Rangers, but those were in the bullpen.
Right, he came over to deal with Texas. See, not very good walk-strikeout ratio. Southwest Airline scouting report. He's going to go fastball, slider, changeup. Right-handed hitter's only 196 against him.
Well, Jimmy Rollins leads it off for the Phillies, and he takes a fastball for a strike. Now, the A's, during the course of this season, have had a lot of trouble with injuries, particularly to their starting staff. They've used 9 different starting pitchers. Now, that's a lot at this point. Grounder right side. Weeks backs up on it. Had a little trouble getting a grip, but he had plenty of time to throw out Rollins. One away. So with 1 out, here's Placido Polanco, and this is the big change in the Phillies lineup. They've moved Polanco back to the 2 hole and Victorino to the 5 hole. Now, part of that is to really just get Polanco going, and Charlie Manuel said that he wants to try the speed now in the 5 hole with Victorino and kind of separate the 2 left-handers, Howard and Ibanez, with a switch hitter.
Yeah, and he's pretty candid about it too before the game, that he said, look, Polanco has more strength. He has more power than Shane Victorino. He said, so I'm putting him back in that 5 hole because he can produce some runs down there, because he's going to hit more extra base hits than Polanco would hit. And he hates to do it in a way because he liked the speed at the top of the order with those 2 guys. But, you know, Polanco's been coming up in a lot of RBI situations. That is not his strong point.
Well, Charlie also said that he needs to get him going. He said he doesn't have a whole lot of guys that are hitting well offensively right now, and he needs Polanco to be one of those guys. And he's behind 1 ball and 2 strikes. Inside, 2-2.
You know, Polanco, for the most part, is going to hit singles. That's what he does. He doesn't run that well anymore, so doubles are even kind of tough for him unless he hits them down the line or shoots one through the alleys towards the wall.
See his average down to 288. Victorino at 295. He was above 300 at the beginning of the road trip. 3-2 the count to Polanco. The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Farrell George of Schwenksville, Pennsylvania. If the Phillies hit a home run at today's ball game, then Farrell will win $100. Ball forward. Polanco's aboard. So 1 out walk. And that'll bring Chase Utley to the plate.
Hey, good job of working the count there by Polanco against a pitcher you haven't seen. And now you want him to move over there, even though you're not a base stealer. I'd like to get him to move over a couple of times if you could, just so you see something.
Well, here's Utley, who was 6 for 21 on the road trip. He had 286. See his numbers over his last 16 games. That's brought his average up to 277.
A lot of fastballs so far.
Well, Chase has a runner at first now, and the hole open on the right side as the A's infield defense at double play depth. Inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. See the alignment of the defense. Curveball high, and it's 2-1. Moscoso is the first Venezuelan-born pitcher to start a game for the A's since 1977. That's a long time. In his last outing, he went 4 2/3. He allowed 2 runs, but they were unearned because his defense, which isn't the best, well, they weren't the best that day either.
He just got a throw over from the bench. There you see he's born in Maracay, Venezuela, and has 108 days of Major League Baseball experience. Didn't show much of a move over there, though. He just kind of lobbed it.
Fly ball to shallow center. Sweeney, the center fielder, coming in, and he makes the catch, and there are 2 outs, so Polanco goes back to first. So Utley's retired with 2 away. Here comes Ryan Howard. Howard with 62 runs batted in to go along with his 16 home runs. Those 62 RBIs put him second, 1 behind Prince Fielder. So he's closing quickly on Fielder. And they have the 3 infielders on the right side, including Weeks, the second baseman, out in shallow right field. We wondered if they would have this kind of defense, only because we've seen a much different defensive setup from the last 2 teams the Phillies have faced against Howard.
Yeah, and one on an American League team, Seattle, and of course the Cardinals out of the National League where they just finished. But this is more conventional for what Ryan Howard sees.
Fouls it away, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Low inside, 2 balls and 1 strike. That ball kind of fooled Kurt Suzuki. It's 3 balls and 1 strike to Ryan Howard. There's Victorino waiting on deck.
Yeah, and you wonder if they'll give in here with a fastball. You know, it used to be the American League style of pitching. They never gave in these situations. The leagues have changed. It's not that way as much. A lot of that happens now in the National League where they'll throw off speed behind it or ahead in the count.
Polanco goes, and the pitch is fouled away, and it's 3-2. Polanco sort of had a couple stutter steps before he took off on that.
Well, that's because he's running on the count, and when you're running on the count like that, the one thing you can't do is get picked off. If you're stealing a base, that's different. Once in a while you get picked off because you're trying to get a little bit better lead. Running on the count, the number one thing is make sure the guy throws a baseball before you move.
Now Jackson will play behind Polanco with the count 3-2, so he'll be off with this pitch.
Surprised they don't just play all the way back, but now they'll just jump back.
There goes Polanco, and Howard drags it to the right side, picked up by the shortstop Pennington, and he throws him out. The side is retired. 6-3 on the putout. No runs, no hits, 1 man left. We go to the second here in Philadelphia. The A's nothing and the Phillies nothing. Android or BlackBerry. Get live audio, pitch-by-pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text at-bat to 31826 or visit Phillies.com for details. A lot of smiles on the faces of the crowd here at Citizens Bank Park. Another sellout. The first of 6 here at home against the American League. First of 9 overall.
All of a sudden the breeze has picked up too. It feels a little bit cooler in the. Looks like it's out of the northwest a little bit, blowing towards the right field corner.
Well, there have been thunderstorms all around the Delaware Valley today. Hopefully things will cool off a little bit.
Yeah, that's what was supposed to happen. You'll get a little bit of a cold front. Not much of one, but you know, when you see the flag starting to blow toward from the northwest, that's a good sign.
84 degrees, mostly sunny. David DeJesus is the count even, 1 ball and 1 strike. DeJesus takes low. It's 2-1.
Well, those guys out of the Royal system, we thought was going to be a big time star for them, and you know, it just didn't work. They finally moved him over here.
He's had a pretty good career. Not a great career, but a good career. He played 9 years with Kansas City. That's a long time.
And, you know, he had star player potential written all over him, and he's a good player.
Out of Rutgers University and Manalapan, New Jersey, which is in central Jersey. Lifetime .286 hitter. Played for the great Fred Hill at Rutgers University. 2-2 the count. Inside 3-2. So another 3-ball count.
Too many 3-2 counts. You know, you're going to have a short outing if you keep this up.
Foul ball toward the Hall of Fame club, and it remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. Worley has good velocity, and we bring that up. You know, not a lot of times we look at velocity and you can overstate its necessity. But before he went down to the minor leagues, his velocity wasn't at 92. It had dipped a little bit, but it's been back up in the low 90s since he came back. DeJesus lifts it in the air to deep right field. Brown going back. He has room, makes the catch. 1 away. So 1 gone here in the second. Well, the history of interleague baseball for these two franchises, the A's, they've played pretty well in interleague play. In fact, when Ken Maka used to be the manager, that's when they used to make their move in the division. 140 wins against the National League, 18-21 against the East. And they've been here to Philadelphia a couple times. Phillies been out in Oakland too. Phillies, well, their interleague record not so great, but 10-8 last year, and 4-5 against Oakland.
2-1 so far this year. Oh no, what 3-3 so far this year?
Correct. Yep.
With the games out in Seattle, there it is. And as Tom mentioned against the Athletics, I knew they'd play Texas and won 2 out of 3.
Foul ball by Suzuki. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Kurt Suzuki, who hails from Maui, the same island that produced Shane Victorino. They did not play high school baseball together. They played against each other. Swing and a miss, 1-2. When Shane was a senior in high school, Suzuki was a sophomore. 2-2 the count. Boy, was he really late on that pitch, and it remains 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Just a high fastball, maybe a little bit of a cutter. Just 90, 91 on the velocity. Almost like he had an emergency swing there, thinking it was strike 3 and he better foul it off.
He's down on strikes, 2 away. First strikeout for Worley. Suzuki's now 3 for his last 31. And with 2 away, the number 8 hitter Scott Sizemore is due up.
Just threw a fastball right by him, a little four-seamer. actually tailed back into the middle of the zone where he didn't want it, but thankfully that's not a hot hitter up there.
Scott Sizemore, we saw during spring training with the Detroit Tigers. In fact, he was supposed to be their everyday second baseman.
Last year in spring training, not this season, but last year, he was really a hot prospect for Detroit, as you said. And, you know, he started the season and he was their everyday second baseman as a rookie.
A's picked him up at a deal that sent David Percy to Detroit. Now, Sizemore was supposed to take over at second base for Placido Polanco.
Right.
That gentleman made a nice catch on that foul ball. That's why the Tigers decided not to re-sign Polanco. Figured they'd get some salary relief by having a rookie play that position. 1-2 the count. And a breaking ball low and inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Power hitting switch hitter waits on deck, you said?
That's what I read, yeah. And a called strike 3 right on the outside corner at the knees. Back-to-back strikeouts for Worley. He retires the A's in order here in the second. So a nice piece of pitching by Vance Worley, particularly to get the last 2 hitters. Here's the last pitch to Scott Sizemore. Perfect place for the home plate umpire Joe West. We go to the bottom of the second. Teams right from the palm of your hand. Your teams right now. Free. Download CSN Philly Sports app for your iPhone now. That would come in handy the last couple of days. There's been a lot of things going on between the NBA draft, the Flyers making trades, the Phillies making adjustments to their roster. Shane Victorino leads it off here in the bottom of the second. Victorino had a pretty good road trip. He was 8 for 25. Overall hitting .295. Mentioned the roster moves. Roy Oswalt was placed on the DL. Brian Schneider was activated from the DL. Dane Sardina went down to Lehigh Valley. Scott Matheson was called up from Lehigh Valley. And J.C. Romero was waived after he cleared waivers. He was given his outright release from the organization, and he's free to sign with anybody else. 1 ball, 1 strike the count to Victorino. In the air to right field toward the end of the bat, so it's playable for DeJesus, and he makes the catch for the first out.
Guys have never seen Moscoso before, and they're out front of fastballs a little bit. Chase Utley did that and hit the fly ball to center field. Victorino just got out front, so you know, hopefully it's one time through the lineup and they have a better feel for this guy's velocity, movement, and they can handle the fastball a little bit better, because you don't see major league hitters, especially as good as these guys. See his reactionary It's like, how did I just get out front and hit a fastball off the end of the bat that was like 89 or 90, not moving all that much.
Oh, with one away, here's Ibanez. Raul has taken the last couple of days off. He did pinch hit in yesterday's ball game. And he takes a fastball for a strike. It's 0-1. See, Raul's tinkered with his stance a little bit. The bat starts out right on his shoulder before he pops it up. Just if you're interested in it, just the way guys go through changing and getting out of slumps, they'll tinker with some things. They see this bat on the shoulder and then he pops it up into the normal spot that he gets to before he tries to pull the trigger. Guess it's like anything else, Wheels. You just change until you figure it out.
Right, and the whole key is how to get loaded. There's Greg Gross looking on, and he works so hard with these guys.
Grounder to second. Weeks is up with it, and there are 2 away. So 2 outs here in the second. Hey, tomorrow from 5:30 until 8:30, the Phillies' Wives Save a Pet at the Park inside the first base gate will take place. Meet the Phillies' Wives and support the PSPCA. Donate gently used or new blankets and new pet toys for the PSPCA. Mystery ball sale of the season. Meet and adopt a sheltered cat or dog. A silent auction with one-of-a-kind signed and game-used memorabilia. Dominic Brown is now the hitter. Wheels, you interested in another Shih Tzu?
No, Nittany's just fine. Wouldn't want to subject her to a younger dog. You know,
subject Nittany or the younger dog.
Both. Well, more Nittany because you can tell when they get a little bit older, they don't want all that friskiness around them.
There you go. You can maybe bring one of those little toys for a dog.
Well, yeah, she'd like those.
Yeah. 1 ball and 1 strike. Swing and a miss. It's 1-2. You know that Wheels has an allegiance to the Penn State Nittany Lions when he names his Shih Tzu Nittany.
Well, Renee did that, but we found out that Shih Tzu means lion dog in Chinese.
Of course it does.
So there you go, a lion. Perfect, right? I didn't know that.
It's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
She's 13 pounds.
She's not as big as a lion.
No. Very cute. Everybody loves her. Everybody loves their pets. That's why that's such a neat thing you're talking about tomorrow.
Yeah, and the Phillies' wives, by the way, they do. You know, the players do a lot of great things, but the wives, not only behind the scenes, but also out front like this. I mean, they do some pretty impressive things for the organization.
So great when Chase is involved in that, along with his wife Jen, and when you can rescue an animal, that is really a nice gesture.
Here's the 3-2 to Brown. Low ball 4, and the Phillies have another base runner on a walk. It's their second of the game. And here's Brian Schneider. Brian Schneider hitting just 173 with a couple home runs and 4 RBIs. He played 7 games in his rehab stint with Reading. Now he had to stop and start his rehab program a couple different times, and he said one of those times he was kind of nervous because he had to go back to ground zero to get his rehab going again.
Well, that hamstring was worse than he thought, because I remember talking to him right after he had done it. We were in Atlanta after being in Florida, and he thought he was coming along pretty fast, and obviously it's taken a long time.
He said today that he doesn't even feel it, and that's a good thing, because a lot of times when you have hamstring or calf problems, you'll feel it for the rest of the year.
Was Carlos the night off? He caught every game on that trip.
Breaking ball in there for strike 1. It's 0-1 to Schneider.
Whether Dominic Brown's allowed to run on his own or not, but that was he looked like he was going to go then, and it was a great pitch to run on because it was a slow breaking ball. Brown has stolen a couple bases. He hasn't been as aggressive recently.
And again, he hasn't been on base that much. A line drive toward right field. DeJesus moving over, and he grabs the sinker before it hits the turf, and the side is retired. No runs, no hits. One man left. We completed 2. It's odds of the third. Still A's nothing, Phillies nothing. And please submit your answer on the subject line. Wheels, who is the A's all-time leader in saves? The answer will be revealed in the 7th inning. Wheels was just twirling his mustache. Well, while we were away in Seattle and in St. Louis, there was an accident at Lehigh Valley. The Fanatic got in the way of a foul ball. In all seriousness, that ball skipped off the dugout and nailed the Fanatic right below the beak. Ooh. And he looks like he's okay right there. A little stunned, a little shaken. And look at him wobbling through the stand.
That's a great act he put on after that.
It sure was.
He got conked pretty good there now.
Moscoso in his first professional at bat. Takes the ball. The Fanatic is back. The ice didn't do its job. The ice did not do its job at all, although there's no swelling whatsoever. The ice he doesn't need anymore.
You look good.
There's no bandage anymore. There's nothing. You look great.
Well, what we want to know is with your tremendous athletic ability and agility, how come you didn't move? I mean, seriously, how can you not get out of the way of that thing?
What about the fans not helping, not letting you know that there was actually a ball coming?
Really?
I thought they were the friend of the Fanatic. We're listening to some birds chirping in our headset right now.
Looked like you took about a 7 count there, huh?
Well, we're glad to see that you are healthy, you're vibrant, and you're looking as good as usual.
Wouldn't know what to do without you.
Yeah. We were very worried, though. Let's take another look again.
It's going to hurt
Here
again.
It is. They've spotlighted. They've pulled out. Bam!
Oh!
Right there.
Bam.
Right below the beak.
It was a throat shot.
Yep. 0-2 the count. So you're feeling okay? Everything's good? Not wobbly at all? You know, I have to say, that feels pretty good. Very comfortable. Now, if it could only grow hair. Well, it's good to see the Fanatic back on his feet. Jimmy Rollins back on his feet as well. Throws out Weeks, and there are 2 outs. Tell you what, he took a pretty good shot.
Ooh, I can imagine that could have hurt a little bit, huh?
Yeah. Well, the friend of the Fanatic, Tom Burgoyne, told us that the Fanatic was a little woozy.
Yeah.
But was feeling okay the next day.
A little woozy anyway, you know, when everything's okay, let alone getting smoked like that.
In all seriousness, no, but the way he looked after he got hit, I mean, that was funny. That was some funny stuff.
Always a shtick.
Yeah.
Always on as a fanatic. Even in immense physical pain like that, ready to pass out.
0-1 the count to Cliff Pennington, who reached in a fielder's choice his first time up. That's low. 1 ball, 1 strike. The reaction of the one gentleman, the older gentleman who was sitting in the stands, I mean, he was laughing.
Yeah.
He probably thought at first, he's not okay. Okay, he's okay. Slowly hit toward the middle. Utley to his right. He's up with it, and the side is retired in order. So Vance Worley's retired the last 7. He's retired the A's in order in the 2nd and the 3rd. We have played 2.5. The Fanatic is back. There's no need for the ice pack anymore. Maybe the sunglasses just to look cool. Fastest mobile broadband network, and by Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines new Rapid Rewards. Unlimited reward seats and no blackout dates. Bottom of the 3rd. Neither team has picked up a hit just yet. Both have had base runners. Vance Worley trying to take care of that. Fouls the first pitch back. It's 0-1.
Worley likes to swing the bat too. He is really aggressive.
He was saying that when he was drafted by the Phillies out of high school, he had to decide whether he was going to be a hitter or a pitcher before he went to Long Beach State.
Well, you can see he likes to get up there and hit, but that pitch right there is the reason why he's a pitcher. That's a breaking ball, and that was a pitcher's swing at it.
Phillies pitchers hitting 163. There's a liner to right to Jesus. He was playing kind of shallow, but he's able to get back and make the grab. Well, the San Diego Padres will be here Friday, July 22nd to kick off a 4-game wraparound series that includes 1980s Retro Night on the 22nd at 7:05. Sunday the 24th. That time is still to be determined. It's a Pico Chase Utley Fathead Jr. free to fans 14 and under. Get your tickets now. There are limited seats available by going to Phillies.com.
See Roy Halladay, that shot of him right there. He went, that was crushed. He really appreciated that swing.
Well, I asked Marty Walliver, who's the Phillies director of scouting. Marty's a great guy and always quick with a comment. I said, so was there any thought of Vance being a position player out of high school? Because he was saying that he had to decide what he wanted to do when he went to college. He said, we were looking at him as a pitcher. Rollins lines it toward right center field. Sweeney dives. Did he get it? He did. He hung on to it. 2 outs here in the 3rd.
Boy, they made some good plays in the outfield. That ball was hit right on the nose. So was the one to end the inning by Brian Schneider, and the 2nd inning. Tremendous play by Sweeney. You know, it's a lot easier play if he had the glove on the other hand, because this way he's got to dive, catch it across his body, had it all the way. Right there. Now, sometimes the ground's going to knock that out. You can hurt your wrist. And
that's what I was thinking.
And he held on to it. You see some twisting going on there.
Well, he has had a perfect record defensively in the last 154 games.
See why? Some twisting going on here tonight with Chubby Checker too. Huh?
The sounds of Philadelphia's celebration going on before the ball game. The concerts out on Citizens Bank Way. And the great Chubby Checker, Jerry Butler, Dee Sharp honored before the ball game. 0-1 the count to Polanco. So many talented people born and raised in Philadelphia. I should say raised in Philadelphia. Chubby Checker was born in South Carolina but raised in South Philly. Polanco hits it in the air to straightaway center. This is going to turn out to be an easy inning for the right-hander, and he retires the Phillies in order. So 3 fly ball outs, 2 hit pretty hard. We've completed 3. It's on to the 4th here in Philadelphia. Still a scoreless game. Curl or fall off. Who but W.B. Mason. Top of the 4th here at Citizens Bank Park. A scoreless game. In fact, it's a hitless game. Gary Matthews joins us up here in the booth. The A's don't have a hit. The Phillies don't have a hit. Both teams do have base runners because of some free passes that were given out by each of the starters. Vance Worley will go back to work here in the 4th against Ryan Sweeney, Hideki Matsui, and Connor Jackson. Sweeney hit one sharply to short his first time up. Retired by Rollins. And he takes a strike. It's 0-1. Down the left field line, a foul ball. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Sarge, we've seen the Rangers, the Mariners, and now it's our first look this year at the A's before the Red Sox come in on this homestand and the Phillies go to Toronto. But 2 of the 3 American League teams we've seen so far, they don't really hit for a high team average.
Well, that's putting it mildly. Really, I think it's just been awful for me. See a lot of balls fouled off on hitting counts, fastball hit to the other side. I mean, we're getting into almost July. Guys should be able to square the ball up. And let's face it, we're not talking about, Cy Young Award pitchers other than Mr. Hernandez, King Felix out in Seattle, and they handled him well. You know, it seems like the guys that really can go after you, they have better at bats against.
Down and away, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Well, that is true about the Phillies, but I'm even saying that these American League teams, you know, it's the vaunted American League.
Oh, boy.
They pound the baseball. You know.
Well, certainly Seattle, not that type of team. And again, here with Oakland, not that type of team.
Well, Bob Melvin, who took over for Bob Guerin, he was just trying to stabilize some things. Another foul ball, and it remains 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, for so many years, however, Oakland, they like players that have that on-base percentage, meaning walking a lot, taking a lot of pitches.
Well, there's a ball outside that Sweeney takes, and it's the 3rd walk issued by Vance Worley. The A's obviously have a good history, as Sarge says, of having some pretty powerful offense. Now, they also have a history of being here in Philadelphia. From 01 to 08 at Columbia Park, 09 to 54 at Shibe Park, Connie Mack Stadium.
Yep.
5 World Series championships. And of course, Connie Mack is the winningest manager all time with 3,627 wins. I mean, think about some of the players, the great players that were part of the Philadelphia A's franchise. Jimmy Fox, Eddie Plank. I mean, the list goes on and on.
Yeah, well, they are great players. And again, you know, the tradition, too, is what makes the following that much better with the fans when you have that rich tradition, and especially when you're winning.
Matsui takes inside. It's 1-1. Well, there's a great organization here in Philadelphia, the Philadelphia A's Historical Society. They have their own website, and they do some great work in keeping the tradition of the Philadelphia A's, the history of the Philadelphia A's, alive. And it's kind of neat. 1-2 the count to Matsui. When the A's played here in Philadelphia, colors were a little different. They had blue as their primary color, not green.
Didn't particularly care for the green when they first came out.
Swing and a miss. Matsui's down on strikes. 4th strikeout, excuse me, for Worley. There's one away here in the 4th. Well, talking about the Philadelphia A's jersey, the Majestic Clubhouse store, and where there's a number of items that are available, including the old Philadelphia A's cap. There's the jersey, has some blue trim, some blue piping. It's kind of a neat look when you think back, Sarge.
Well, a lot of times, let's face it, it's just almost a fashion look to be able to have some of the retro type of uniforms, and it goes on and on, not only just in baseball but in a lot of the other sports. Yeah,
and back in 1954, attendance had dwindled for the A's. They drew about 300,000 people that final year before they hit the road, and you know, as we said, they won some championships here. The American League, it was pretty good baseball here in Philadelphia.
Rich tradition, and having Fox on the team alone would just about make you want to follow that team.
Connor Jackson pops it up to the left side, and Placido Polanco casually makes the grab.
Well, the ball was just hit so soft. I mean, almost as if it had a parachute on it coming down. But again, just not a whole lot of hitting, not only this tonight, but for me, just about the whole season.
Well, you think about this matchup, Phillies and the Oakland A's. You know, think about the history of the Philadelphia A's. You know, if there was a natural rival, it's kind of difficult to make it Philadelphia and Oakland because they're so far away.
So far away. And again, you got to be able to win quite a bit. And the A's did once they got out to California, even more with those teams that they had. Reggie Jackson, of course, winning a lot of championships over there. Joe Rudy, those players.
Well, I just I think about it. The one good thing about this matchup is that it brings to light the history of the Philadelphia A's. I think that's kind of cool.
Oh, we'll get a chance to see and how many of those retro uniforms are being sold and see how the fans feel about those A's.
But wouldn't you agree with that? I mean, from a baseball standpoint?
Yeah, absolutely.
Kind of brings to the forefront some of the great history that this city had in the American League.
Oh, absolutely. And a lot of times you have a tendency to really forget, just about some of those traditions.
2 balls and 1 strike to David DeJesus. Runner on first. 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. Right down the chute for strike 2. Must have a difficult time picking it up out of Worley's hand.
Well, it's right down the middle. I don't know what else he could be looking for unless he thought maybe that pitch a little bit high.
Another 3-ball, 2-strike count for Worley.
Too many deep counts. Those are the pitches you really want to try and put those hitters away. Now we got that runner that will be off and running.
There he goes. 3-2 pitch hit foul by DeJesus. And it stays alive. The at-bat does. Six 3-ball counts for Vance Worley.
Well, that's what gets that pitch count up when you have those deep counts.
Ground ball softly hit to shortstop. Rollins will throw across the diamond in time to retire DeJesus. And although he walked the leadoff batter, it still was an easy inning for Vance Worley. He still has not allowed a hit through 4. We go to the bottom of the 4th. That Chase Utley is due to lead it off for the Phils. By Bud Light Lime, the just right taste of Bud Light with a refreshing splash of 100% natural lime flavor. And by Chevrolet. See your local Chevy dealer or visit ChevyDealer.com. Well, some A's fans are in the house, not only with the traditional green and gold, but we just saw a young lady wearing the old school Philadelphia A's cap that we were just talking about. There it is, right there. Chase Utley starts things off here in the bottom of the 4th. Vance Worley hasn't allowed a hit. Guillermo Moscoso has not allowed a hit. Breaking ball, and it's no balls and 2 strikes to Utley. Talk about fighting one off right there, just trying to stay alive.
Yeah, that's that pitch. He felt maybe he was going to come back across the plate. It stayed inside. Did a good job of fouling the pitch off, and that's what you want to do. Close pitches, foul them off until the pitcher makes a mistake. Hopefully you can get that base hit.
We were talking before, Sarge, how some of the Phillies hitters were out in front of this guy's fastball. Is it better to be out in front the second time around? You can make some adjustments than to be late.
Well, I mean, for me, I didn't think they were out in front of the fastball. I thought they were out in front of that changeup that he was throwing. You know, the fastball, I thought, and for an example, I thought J-Ro might have hit something that was off speed a little bit. I mean, he got on it, but that ball that he hits in that area, that ball usually is hit through the gap if it's really hit hard. You know, but the adjustment, again, hasn't shown a lot of hard breaking pitches. Change up and fastball for me. There's a breaking ball, but not that breaking ball that, for me, you have to worry about. You know, adjustment, get a strike and put a good swing on it.
3-2 the count out lead. That'll stay in fair territory. Third baseman Sizemore makes the grab. And there's one away. Hey, reminder, while the Phillies are home this weekend, you can punch out some ballots here at Citizens Bank Park or go to Phillies.com and vote up to 25 times for your favorite Phillies player. Now, voting ends, as you see there, at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time this Thursday. Or you can vote at Phillies.com up to 25 times for your favorite Phillies player. Guys like Ryan Howard, Shane Victorino, Placido Polanco has a pretty healthy lead at third. Vote early, vote often. Here's Howard. He's 0 for 1. Ground out to shortstop. Takes a strike. It's 0-1. I think he may have been fooled on that one, Sarge.
Yeah, that ball would change up as it really going away. He was looking fastball all the way on that. You know, the adjustment again comes when you're able to pick up that spin as quick as you can.
No, he goes after a high fastball and he's down swinging, second out of the inning. And it's the first strikeout for Moscoso. 2 outs here in the fourth.
This is what they do with Ryan Howard. They'll get 2 strikes on him, elevate the ball, hope he'll swing at a pitch that's not in the zone, the way that one appeared. Got to know the strike zone.
So Howard's 0 for 2. Here's Victorino. He flied to right. His first time up. Charlie kind of rolling the dice here, flip-flopping Victorino and Polanco. Maybe get one guy going and keep another guy, in Victorino's case, going because he's hit so well here at home.
Yeah, not only that, though, you want to put that hot hitter behind Ryan Howard so that he'll get some good pitches to hit. Well, Polanco does a pretty good job in being able to know balls and strikes, so his on-base percentage would make sure maybe he's on, and then other guys can do the damage, and particularly Howard.
Breaking ball, that's a strike. It's 1-2 to Victorino.
That's not a strike.
Just flat out not a strike.
No. You know, it's a breaking ball, starts down low, kind of almost backdooring it. You know, Joe West will call that pitch from time to time. Maybe he thinks the game's going too slow. Let's get it going and call some strikes.
It does feel like there's a feeling out process going on here between these two teams.
Well, yeah. Well, both of them need to be able to try and get hits, and just not happening right now.
Sizemore comes down the third base line, and retires Victorino. So another 1-2-3 inning for Moscoso. We've completed 4. It's on to the 5th. Still no hits for either team. Emmanuel, and Raul Ibanez shares his proudest moment in his baseball career. All this and more on Phillies Clubhouse, presented by Ransom Cat, tonight at 11 right here on Comcast Sportsnet. A scoreless ball game. I think both teams are hoping that there's at least one ball hit to the wall as we go to the top of the 5th. Is there a manager who you would run through a wall for?
Well, I got to think about that.
What about Dallas?
Well, the fact is that, again, when you're playing hard all the time, and really talking with Pete Rose even earlier, it made it easy because you knew what those managers demanded, and that was be on time, give 100%, and make sure you do some occasional clutch hitting. You know, going through a wall, I don't mind maybe picking up that ball and trying to do damage on the offense. I don't like that, even though I did go up on some walls, it's just injuries that you can get, you know, doing that. And I guess in terms of just playing as hard as you can is what Dominic's actually talking about. If you want a manager to like you, get yourself some hits. Okay, catch the ball and throw some strikes.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Kurt Suzuki. Pretty good catch right here, Sarge. Whoop. Oh.
You mentioned that's not always the first guy that ball goes off of, the one it ends up with.
Grounder up the third base line. That's a fair ball, barehanded by Polanco, and he got him! Wow. Wow, what a play by Placido Polanco.
Well, that's a great play on both ends. That's a do or die. He doesn't catch that ball, it's going to be a base hit. He throws the ball over. Now, this is what you call a swinging bunt. Top spin on it. He comes in, barehands it. And to throw it right there on the money, good stretch by Ryan Howard as he comes right into your pitcher.
That's not an easy play to throw like that and make sure it's right on the money, as you said. Here's Scott Sizemore who takes a strike. It's 0-1. Well, you know, Polanco, as we've stated over and over again, is one of the best defensive third basemen in the league. And last year he led all third basemen in fielding percentage. Just does it a little differently than what we were used to with Pedro Feliz before. But he gets it done.
Yeah, he has soft hands, has a very accurate arm, throwing over to first base.
2 balls and 1 strike to count.
Excuse me, Tom. There's that floating zone. Pretty good pitch there by Worley. Those are the pitches that he likes to be able to throw. If you're going to miss, just barely miss it.
Pitchers due up next. Ball 4, another walk issued by Worley. That's really been the only issue for him tonight. He's walked 4 because he is not allowed to hit.
Yeah, take a look at this. They'd really be in trouble right now if Polanco hadn't have made that particular play as he comes in. And again, you got to have a lot on it. He makes it look easy, but it's a difficult play, running in, gathering yourself, one-handing the ball, and getting it over to first base.
Moscoso looked like he jabbed at that, but it wasn't called a strike. It's a ball.
Yeah, I think Snyder maybe should have asked for a little bit of help on that, but he did appear to jab at it.
Bunts it toward the right side. Howard will pick it up and flip underhand to Utley. The sacrifice is successful, the first of the career for Moscoso. 3-4 on the put out, 2 outs with a runner at second. Well, he said that he was a power hitting switch hitter, but right there he just showed that he was a right-handed hitting pitcher who was able to get the sacrifice down.
Well, that's all they're asked to do is to give your team a chance to win. They all like to brag to feel that they can hit. There's Gerald Perry, the hitting coach that you saw right there in the dugout.
That's a guy that could hit. Here's Weeks, and he takes outside. Weeks is 0 for 1. There's Gerald Perry.
Doing a lot of clubs as their hitting coach. Was hitting coach in Seattle with the Cubs.
Ooh, look out. 1-1 the count.
Well, a little bit too loose, and he just lets it fly. Thank goodness that it didn't get into the stands.
There were folks in the stands that were getting ready. They didn't know where that bat was going, but they were making sure that they were protected.
Well, for good reason, as he puts a little more of that Manny Mota stick on it for a little stick. Yeah, it is pretty sticky too. I mean, and the hotter it gets, the stickier it gets on your bat. Only need a little bit.
Outside, 2-1.
Just a little bit too fine. Got to be able to get in there a little bit more. The deeper you get it where you're going behind the hitters, the easier it is for the hitters to put a good stroke on the ball.
Little flare foul out of play. Polanco gave it a look. 2-2 the count to Weeks. Well, this is what Worley's done tonight. 27 pitches in the first, 22 in the fourth, and here in the fifth, he's already thrown 16. Now on the other side of the ball, Moscoso has thrown 56 pitches, and neither is allowed to hit. The 2-2, low and inside, 3-2. I don't even know if you would call this effectively wild.
Well, no, because he's not throwing up near the hedge. He's just wild where it doesn't really mean anything when you're not close to the hitter.
Ground ball toward first, diving stop. Howard flips to Worley. He got him! What a play all the way around. I'm not not sure which part was better, the catch and hold by Worley or the initial stop by Ryan Howard.
Now he led him right to the bag, and boy, that's an athletic play on both ends of that. Ryan Howard laying down, Worley coming right here in your picture. He just flicks that up near that bag there as he runs over. Look at that, leads him right on the bag.
Saved a run. We go to the bottom of the fifth. Raul Ibanez leads it off. Scoreless game, hitless game so far for both teams. Phillies do have some bullpen action as we hit the bottom of the fifth. Vance Worley's through 5. He hasn't allowed a hit, but he's issued some walks. In fact, he's walked 4 so far. Moscoso has not allowed a hit. He's walked 2 as Ibanez takes outside 2-0. And Scott Matheson is up and loosening in the pen for the Phillies. The pitcher spot is due up 4th here in the bottom of the fifth. Two and 1 the count. There's Matheson, who arrived from AAA earlier today. They're hoping he would get here before the start of the ball game. He dabbled in a little starting down in the minor leagues the last few weeks.
Well, that's what's good about the minor leagues. You can switch guys.
The ball is lifted toward left center field. On the run is Matsui, and he makes the basket catch. And I would assume he let out a big sigh of relief after he made the grab.
Well, this is a part of the night when that ball is hit. Unless you're used to it, you're not going to pick it up right away. See him looking up in the air, but that's more so where your heart just drops. All of a sudden you see the ball and he uses a basket catch. See how he comes around, Willie Mays like, as he says, whew, boy.
Oh, 1 out for Dominic Brown. He walked his first time up. Two and 0 the count.
This should be a pitch here, 2-0, that, you know, he's looking for the fastball to put good wood on it. If it's something else, just go on and take it. You're still ahead in the count. Wow.
But in the grand scheme, was that an okay pitch to go after?
Oh, absolutely, because he's a good low ball hitter. You know, you take the guesswork out of it when you're ahead in the count.
That one looked like it was a little farther outside.
Well, those are those balls there that West will call on you at 2 strikes. I would suggest you'd be swinging on that pitch.
Here's the 2-2 to Dominic Brown. Change up low, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Moscoso began his professional career with the Detroit Tigers. Made it to the majors the last couple of years as a relief pitcher for the Texas Rangers. There's ball 4. Brown is aboard. Second time he's walked. Well, it's time now for the Home Depot defensive play of the game. Sarge, which one, Blanco or Howard?
Well, I got to tell you, though, I like that Howard play for sure, because he's down there. You got to lead the pitcher, and he does a great job in staying right there on the bag and getting out of the way of the runner.
The Home Depot doing more on defense. So 1 gone, runner at first. Phillies still looking for their first hit. And Brian Schneider, who hit the ball hard his first time up, lined out to right. I would think that if Schneider gets on and Brown's in scoring position, then Worley may not hit and they may go to the bullpen. You know, I know it's a scoreless game. He's thrown a lot of pitches. I mean, wouldn't you agree, Sarge?
Well, you know, I think it depends, and we've always said it. Charlie's going to go on how he feels he's out there pitching, even though he hasn't given up any runs. If he's struggling, and for sure, if I think they get a guy in scoring position, that he's going to pinch hit for him.
Pete McCannon having a word with Jimmy Rollins. Breaking ball outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Now, I'm not saying that definitively that will happen.
Yeah. Oh, no. No, but I mean, when you're having trouble scoring and you get a guy in scoring position, you have a pitcher out there that's just been on the ropes, not knocked down, you might want to try and get him out of there, you know, and then see if you can score a run or 2.
The other thing they could do is if Schneider gets on and it's first and second, they could have Worley sacrifice or attempt to, even though there'll be 1 out.
Yeah.
I think they're talking about that right now.
Yeah, well, I'd take my chances for sure on trying to get a hit or 2 as opposed to the bunt. Well, if the guys are hitting the ball well, you see guys are squaring it up, they have hits, maybe a different little story. But these are the clubs you don't want to stay close to. They end up getting 1 or 2 runs. Seems like a mountain to get over. Haven't seen a hit and run yet. Not a bad count for a hit and run. Good speed on first base.
Fly ball to straightaway center. Sweeney ventures back, makes the catch. And there are 2 outs, and Worley looks like he's going to bat. Hey, host your next corporate or social event at Citizens Bank Park. The ballpark offers a variety of unique spaces and on-site catering. It's available year-round for many types of functions, both large and small. So even when the season ends, there's still some things you can do here at the ballpark. Call the special events department at 215-218-5100 or visit Phillies.com/special events. Worley hit the ball hard his first time up.
Yep.
Retired by David DeJesus in right field. Toward left field, not deep. Hideki Matsui over into the alley. This is an easier catch for him, and the side is retired. No runs, no hits. 1 man left. So both teams threw 5. Still no hits in tonight's game as we go to the 6th. dominating right now. The biggest offseason acquisition in baseball is showing his worth to his buyers. Cliff has taken the mound and taken over in June, silencing opponents to one earned run in 33 innings while becoming the first Phillies pitcher with back-to-back shutouts in the last 7 seasons. Sometimes you just have to tip your cap. And this tip is brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Now more than ever, we're here for you every step of the way. Well, there is Cliff Lee. He and the rest of the Phillies pitchers took batting practice today. Cliff has pitch hit twice now this year, including last night. And boy, he was outstanding 2 days ago for the Phillies. And, well, Vince Worley tonight is not allowed to hit through 5. He'll start the 6th. And the sound of Philadelphia's celebration. And the Fanatic doing a little twist in honor of the great Chubby Checker, who was honored before the start of the ball game tonight. Some pretty good tunes flowing through the ballpark this evening, Sarge.
Yep.
Chubby Checker, Jerry Butler, Dee Sharp, all honored before the ball game. David DeJesus swings at the first pitch. Or excuse me, Cliff Pennington swings at the first pitch and fouls it away. It's 0-1. Pennington tonight is 0 for 2. Broke his bat. And it remains no balls at 2 strikes. Every time the Phillies retire the opposing team 1-2-3, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by the Xfinity HD Triple Play, your complete lineup for digital TV, lightning fast internet, and home phone. And that looks very strange, Sarge, as we're here in the top of the 6th.
Sure does. It's pretty difficult to take a guy out, throw him a no-hitter.
Well, this is his 98th pitch. Fly ball shallow center. Victorino, he froze for a moment. 1 away.
Wow.
And that'll bring Ryan Sweeney to the plate. Well, that is a beautiful sight right there. A little breeze coming in from left center field. Twilight here in Philadelphia. Sweeney grounded out to shortstop his first time up, then walked his last time. Toward left center field, Ibanez and Victorino, and Shane is there. So is Raul, and he steps in front to make the grab.
Now that ball coming back to Ibanez. Now Victorino, one of those center fielders, when it's in the air, he's going to catch it. Good thing is they didn't collide, and the ball was caught. Anytime that you see him go right in front of him, anytime that ball's hit from the left-hander, it's going to spin right back to that left fielder.
So 2 outs here in the 6th. Here's Matsui. And he takes a strike.
At this rate, you're going to have a lot of sore hands with the guys swinging the bats. They've been breaking them, balls on the thumbs.
Same spot, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, he likes that ball more middle in. Will turn on it. Does have power. We've seen him before. Want to make a good pitch. Won't have to throw a strike here.
Line drive towards center field. Here comes Victorino. He dives and he can't get it. It's the first hit of the night for either team, and Matsui's going to pull into second with a stand-up double. Well, the Phillies fans applauding the effort of Vance Worley.
See the location of this pitch there. He squares this ball up. Victorino, good jump. Ball just got out of his reach. Ibanez doing a good job. Base hit all the way. That's what you like, though. If you're going to break it up, you like to see that clean base hit. Now he's got to go to work and make sure no further damage is done.
Well, he misses on the inside, off the inside corner to Connor Jackson, who's 0 for 2.
Now, no balls and 2 strikes. Could have thrown a ball out of the zone. Don't want to throw a ball really that close for him to square it up like that.
Liner to left. Ibanez coming in. He'll make the catch, and the side is retired. So the game's first hit, a double by Hideki Matsui. He's left in scoring position. A nice round of applause for Vance Worley, who's through 6 here in Philadelphia. Amazingly low office product prices by the Pennsylvania Lottery. Play Hot 100,000, the new instant game for the Pennsylvania Lottery. Must be 18 years or older to play. Please play responsibly. And by Citizens Bank, we're for homes. Talk to us today about how we can help guide you to the loan that's right for you. Well, Vance Worley has allowed 1 hit tonight through 6. It's a scoreless game. He just allowed the hit in the top of the 6th inning. Now he'll watch as his offense will try to get him a lead. He's probably done for the night. And Rollins will take a ball. The longest that both starters have gone throwing no hitters, May 2nd, 1917. Hippo Vaughn of the Cubs and Fred Toney of the Reds. The Reds got a hit and a run in the 10th to win that ball game. Moscoso still has not allowed a hit. And it's 1-2 to Rollins. Outside, 2-2.
Well, he has a little bit of a hesitation move. Don't think, however, that is bothering the hitters, but maybe not having faced him, before might have something to actually do with it.
Well, he has 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th as he gets Rollins to ground out to second. I guess when you're struggling offensively, like the Phillies are tonight, you try to look for a theory as to why, a guy who had reasonable numbers in the minor leagues, 36 wins, a 3.50 ERA, is holding the Phillies hitless into the 6th.
Well, this is why you do have to play the game. Can't guide it, just got to hit it.
Polanco takes the knees. No balls and 1 strike.
He's done a fairly good job in getting ahead of the hitters with that first pitch strike, but it's been a quality strike down and away. That pitch that he just threw to Polanco.
Looper to center field, and that's going to drop in for a base hit. The first hit of the night for the Phillies. And it comes with 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th.
It's got to make Polanco feel great. I mean, just having been able to get a base hit, hitting in bad luck, pitchers throwing really great pitches on him, tough calls. That one wasn't hit hard, but great placement as he doesn't overswing on a breaking ball. Slaps it right into center field.
Well, here's Utley with a runner at first and 1 away.
Catcher looks like he's done a little maintenance on his glove.
Down the left field line, Matsui on the run, and he got to the spot. Makes the catch. Polanco goes back to first. Well, they're sending him every which way, but he's making all the plays.
Yeah, ball's up high. The ball seems to be really kind of floating. Therefore, he's able to get up under it. More of a DH these days.
Well, Bob Melvin says that in the games that he's played left, it's only been a few, so he's looked pretty comfortable.
Yeah, almost overran it, though. He got there in plenty of time.
Josh Willingham is a guy that normally plays left field for the A's, and he's out with a sore Achilles. He's on the disabled list. Here's Ryan Howard with 2 outs and a runner at first.
He has his power number, 16 home runs, 62 RBIs. That's a bad call.
Well, he's been making it all night, so.
Yeah, he does that. You know, it kind of reminds me when I was playing, calling those same balls that are off the plate.
1 ball, 1 strike to count to Howard with a runner at first. On the hands, a 1 hopper. And Pennington throws out Howard, and the side is retired. That's again 6-3 in your scorebook. No runs, 1 hit, the first of the game for the Phillies. We go to the 7th.
Well, the 6th inning featured the end of a double no-hitter as both teams got a base hit. Matsui got theirs with 2 outs and Placido Polanco with 1 out, and that's been it so far. Vance Worley went 6. He'll leave the ball game now for David Herndon, and Guillermo Moscoso, well, he's been really good here tonight. 3 walks and 1 strikeout, and both teams pretty futile innings so far, Tom.
Absolutely. We go to the top of the 7th. David DeJesus will lead it off against David Herndon. Herndon, 21st ball game, no wins, a loss, a 4.18 earned run average. With the injuries the Phillies have sustained to their bullpen, Jose Contreras is on the DL. We thought about Herndon and the fact that his role might be elevated a little bit, and that could be the case. It's amazing looking at the Phillies bullpen. They've been really good this year. As DeJesus shows bunt, takes it high. It's 1-0. But think about the names that are in there now compared to what was expected at the start of the year. Stutz, Perez, Herndon, Matheson, Bastardo, Baez, and Matson. And then Kendrick is long man.
Oh, that sounds like the group they're going to put together to go to the Lehigh Valley.
Supposed to be Brad Lidge, who's rehabbing right now. Obviously Jose Contreras, Ryan Matson. Sort of toward the back end. J.C. Romero as one of the lefties. DeJesus hits it in the air to right center field, playable for Victorino. The wind carries it a little ways. 1 out here in the 7th. Well, these lucky fans are tonight's Citizens 7. They will each receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. To find a branch near you, visit citizensbank.com. Here's Kurt Suzuki, 0 for 2. And a strike to Suzuki.
Phillies made 2 really good defensive plays on Worley, and one was on this guy on a nice barehanded charge play by Polanco, and the other one was that 3-1 flip. Ryan Howard to Worley.
Yeah,
Worley helped that one himself.
He did. That saved a run, the 3-1 flip. That was after Polanco made the play on Suzuki. And Worley helped himself because he kind of froze on the bag, even though the ball hadn't really arrived yet. On the inside corner with a slider. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Tomorrow for the Phillies, Cole Hamels. That one's hit back toward the middle, just past the diving Chase Utley. And it's a 1-out single for Suzuki. That ends a stretch of 3 for 32 for Suzuki. Tomorrow, Cole will be opposed by right-hander Trevor Cahill.
That guy's a sinker ball machine. Really good young pitcher, and keeps the ball on the ground, to say the least. So that's what you'll look for tomorrow. And everybody around here knows how good Cole Hamels has been. I wonder if they're going to get somebody up in the bullpen.
Yeah, there's no stirring just yet. Moscoso is in the on-deck circle.
Melvin's used to the DH now. Somebody is rubbing up a baseball out there at least. There is the pitcher on deck. 1 out right now.
Sizemore's 0 for 1. He walked his last time up. In the air to center field. Victorino on the run, and he gets there. Good play. Got that ball into the kitchen a little bit of Sizemore, and it hung up there for Victorino to run under it.
Yeah, he did make a good play, as you say, and the wind blew it back to him too, which helped.
Tonight's Phillies Athletics game was the first game this season with double 5-inning no-hitters. There were 2 last year.
You set it all up. I mean, this is going to be a low-scoring series, right? I mean, you figured there'd be some hits in.
Yeah, I mean, the Phillies had a few balls that were hit pretty hard. You know, the one by Schneider, the one by Worley, a couple others.
Well, Sweeney made a great play in right center field. Center fielder. So they're happy with Moscoso right here. He did get a sack down.
He's a power hitting switch hitter. Why is he not batting left-handed?
Well, I think there's probably
maybe overstated it a little bit.
Or maybe went to the Vicente Padilla school of switch hitting. Then it doesn't matter the pitcher. It just depends on how he wants to hit.
Well, this is his 108th career game, minors and majors, and this is the first time he's getting a chance to hit. He's got a little shtick going.
Oh, he's enjoying himself up there. Got a bunt down.
I'm sure he probably hit winter ball from time to time. Swing and a miss. He got him. Down on strikes. And a scoreless seventh for David Herndon. No runs, a hit, one man left. It's time to stretch here at Citizens Bank Park. Question again, who is the A's all-time career leader in saves?
I give you the little mustache thing.
Yeah,
but he wasn't there long enough.
What are you talking about? The guy that's the all-time career leader in saves did have a mustache.
Yeah, but it was Dennis Eckersley.
Oh, you're right.
Just wanted to play along a little bit.
No, you thought it was Rollie Fingers initially.
At first, and I thought, yeah, I don't think he was there that long.
All right, well, here's the thing. Eckersley had 320. That's the answer. And Rollie Fingers had 136.
Yeah. He had a lot of saves with Milwaukee. He moved on to other teams, and he may have even gone back to Oakland at one time. I'm not sure.
Log back on to Phillies.com. Find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. Thanks for playing Dodge Stump the Fans. Well, we go to the bottom of the seventh, and Shane Victorino will lead it off. It's a scoreless ball game. That whole hit thing, we got that out of the way.
Yeah.
Victorino takes a strike. It's 0-1.
Anytime they would drop a bunt right now, try and get on base, make something happen.
Sarge was talking about that before. Maybe laying down a bunt just to kind of shake things up. Victorino's 0 for 2. Slices it foul. It's 0-2.
This guy's been fastball, breaking ball, changeup tonight. A lot of fastballs, and they look like they're hittable, but haven't been that many balls hit hard tonight. I have to hear what they say afterwards. Maybe he had some late movement, some deception. Or maybe they're just not swinging real well at him.
Charlie Emanuel talked today. Somebody asked him about getting a right-handed hitter because Charlie had talked in St. Louis that he'd like to get a right-handed hitter, that he felt like the Phillies needed a right-handed hitter. Well, he said today, and this was a great quote. Somebody asked him, do you still think you need a right-handed hitter? He said, I need a hitter that's going to square up a baseball. And he was talking about the guys on his current team.
Yeah, tonight's a perfect example. That wind has really started to blow out to right center. You get a ball up in that tonight, you get a home run now. That cold front has come in. It's really pleasant. There you go. What a pretty night.
1-2 the count to Victorino. In the dirt, 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Fanatic has made his triumphant return to the first base dugout. Got to get back up on the horse, Wheels.
Yeah, and he certainly has. That's it. And when he got hit the other night, he wasn't even on the dugout. He was in the stand.
That's true.
Just to a 2-2 changeup there, you know, which we talk about all the time. That's such a trap pitch. Because now you almost have to throw a fastball, you would think, with the middle of the order. Or, I mean, with a 6-hole hitter like Ibanez coming up, left-handed hitter. Doesn't mean he will, but if you're Victorino, you think you're going to get one.
Here comes the 3-2 pitch.
He got his fastball, and he was late. And he was late on it.
There's Ibanez. Taking a few practice swings.
That big old foot in the background.
Ground ball to first. Big hop for Connor Jackson. And there's one away here in the 7th. So 1 out. Ibanez is due up. You know, one guy that knew how to take care of a 3-2 pitch was the great Pete Rose. Wheels, who's in the ballpark tonight.
Yeah, there he is. Had a chance to go down with Sarge and hang out a little bit with him before the game, and it was really fun to see Pete again and just laugh. He can make you laugh. Larry Christensen there with him in the Citizens Bank box or suite. Hit King. There he is. He always knows where the cameras are too.
There's LC. LC's waving. You mean Pete knows where the camera is, or LC knows where the camera is?
Either or.
There's Ibanez who takes a strike. It's 0-1.
That's some kind of prime time player right there. It's Petey. There, he's got his Phillies hat.
Yeah. I asked Sarge, how did the conversation go? And Sarge's face just lit up.
Oh, it was fun, Tom. We just laughed. He can make you laugh now. Sarge can too, but I mean, Pete Rose, he's entertaining.
The man who gave Gary his name. The Sarge.
Lucky enough, I was lucky enough to have 5 years with him and just learned so much baseball from the guy. He would talk it to you anytime he had questions about strategy or why this or why that. And boy, it was like a PhD in baseball to be around Pete Rose.
And that kid right there is wearing the Pete Rose Phillies jersey, number 14. Sarge always talks about the intensity on a daily basis that Pete Rose brought to a game, to an at-bat, to every at-bat.
Didn't give up an at-bat either. He had 1 hit, he wanted 2. He had 2, he wanted 3. 3, he wanted 4. That's just the way he was.
The all-time hit leader in Major League Baseball history. Back toward the middle. Glove goes flying. Pennington picks it up behind the bag and just throws out Ibanez. Now, technically, you're not allowed to throw your glove at the ball, but Moscoso wasn't throwing the glove at the ball. He just lost his glove.
Right. That would be an umpire's judgment call if, in fact, he did just what you said. And, you know, whether it would have been Joe's or one of the infield umpires, I don't know. But right here, he just throws his hand back there trying to knock the ball down. The glove flew off. Doesn't matter because he didn't hit the ball. And a bang play at first. He's out.
There's Joe West, the crew chief, home plate umpire.
Be one of the guys that was around when Pete played.
There is no penalty if the ball is not touched by the thrown glove.
Right.
It's 2 bases if a fair ball bounces or is deflected into the stands. Kind of interesting.
And they have to rule intentional too.
0-2 the count to Dominic Brown. 2 bases if a fielder deliberately throws his glove at and touches a thrown ball, and the ball is in play.
And deliberately.
3 bases if a fielder deliberately throws his glove at and touches a fair ball. The ball is in play and the batter may advance at home at his peril. Well, the Toyota Major League scoreboard. Other interleague games tonight. Texas is shutting out the Mets 3-0. Top of the fourth. Adrian Beltre. Did you see some of the plays that Beltre made earlier this week at third? I mean, unbelievable.
He's a good player.
In that series against the Astros. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count to Dominic Brown.
Still nobody up in their bullpen. They're really happy with what this kid's done for him tonight. He's coming up on 100 pitches. Ball strike ratio is okay, but they have not hit many balls hard off him. Dominic Brown, one guy's gotten on twice and I don't walks.
Just wandering around.
Another deep count for him tonight. Phillies are going to get their bullpen up now because Schneider next and then David Herndon coming up pitcher spot.
3 balls and 2 strikes the count to Dominic Brown. And he got a fastball and he fouls it away. There's Michael Stutz. Doesn't even look like there's any chance that David Herndon's going to hit.
No, he's not going to hit.
Line drive, base hit into center field. Brown did a nice job waiting on that breaking pitch, that slider. So a 2-out single. Hey, the Phillies and Waste Management are teaming up for a Red Goes Green e-cycle event Saturday, June 25th. From 8 until 11 a.m. So tomorrow from 8 until 11 in Lot S off Patterson Avenue at Citizens Bank Park. Fans may bring up to 2 items per person for recycling, and the first 200 people to donate items will receive an autographed photo card from Phillies pitcher Ryan Matson. Go to Phillies.com/Red Goes Green for more information. Joey Devine was up and throwing in the pen for the Phillies. Ross Glow, or for the A's. Stutz up for the Phillies. And Ross Glow is in the on deck circle to pinch hit for David Herndon. We get there.
Devine's the guy we saw with the Braves a few years ago. Then he had some Tommy John surgery. Great time if he could steal a bag here. Huh? Like we said, we don't know whether he's on his own or not. Doesn't appear that way because he hasn't looked like he's going to run, and this is the 3rd time he's been on tonight.
Oh, he was in between steps and just got the body back to the bag.
That's a good move that time. Real quick there, real quick feed, and as Tom said, he just kind of stepping out into his lead and almost got him.
Almost as if he could have decided if he should go back feet first or hand first.
Well, he was startled. His only mindset there was get back. A little one-way lead that time. That's what that move will do to you. And Sam Perlazzo over there working with him a little bit on his lead, trying to help him out. Not a bad time to run. You know, you might get a breaking ball here. You know, something in the dirt where they're trying to strike Schneider out, make him chase.
Brown doesn't go, and Schneider fouls it back.
Well, as it turned out, it was a fastball.
way out in front of a changeup, and Schneider's down on strikes, and the side is retired. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left at first. We have played 7 still. Nothing solved here in Philly. And we don't just make SUVs, we make history. And by Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines new Rapid Rewards. Unlimited reward seats and no blackout dates. Oh, we go to the 8th inning. Still a scoreless game. A's and the Phillies. And David Herndon is about ready to begin his 2nd inning of relief work. In place of Vance Worley, who won the first 6, allowed 1 hit, 4 walks, 4 strikeouts. Not a whole lot of offense today for either team. Some pretty good pitching. You know, not overpowering pitching. You know, guys just keeping hitters off balance.
Seen a lot of that lately.
Well, top of the order is due up for the A's.
Here's a guy you think could try to bunt. Good speed. Nothing game late, 8th inning.
And he takes low and away. Boy, Weeks is so much different in size and stature than his brother. His brother's thick.
Yeah.
Both very good athletes.
Bullpen activity for both teams.
There's a strike, and it's 2-1. Joey Devine continues to throw for the A's. Foul ball, and it's 2-2. Weeks had a good start to the season down at AAA. That's why he earned the promotion. At .321 with 3 homers and 22 RBIs. He's taken over second base for Mark Ellis for Oakland. Hit hard on 1 hop. Ryan Howard is over.
Yeah, they say he's given them some energy at the top of their order since he's been playing regularly. Mark Ellis has been an everyday player for a long time, but not right now.
Oh, speaking of energy, good defense gives you good energy. It's our Coors Light Freeze Cam.
Yeah, here's this play where Ryan Howard smothers the ball. You see it hits right up the heel of the glove. Then he keeps it in front of him, and then they tossed him out at first, and then Sweeney, that was a play in right center field. Tremendous backhand catch. And that's why there's no runs in this game and very few hits.
Coors Light Freeze Cam brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Yeah, that play by Howard, if he didn't make it and it got into right field, well, the A's would have taken the lead. There's
an old Philadelphia Athletics hat.
Yep. That lady's trying to get the best possible view she can. That ball is scorched right at Ryan Howard. And there are 2 outs. So 2 away, and Ryan Sweeney's up.
That ball had some sink, hook, everything on it. Right at him.
Sweeney's 0 for 2. He walked his second time up. That was in the 4th. Wheels, our center field shot tonight is without Bernie Lehman.
Yeah.
Who is out enjoying the nuptials of his daughter, Patricia.
That means she's getting married?
Yep. And her husband, I guess husband by now, right? Patrick Schisler. Congratulations. Sean is out in their center field camera. He's done a great job tonight.
Done a great job showing us all these pitches that are getting the hitters
That's
out.
Right.
Good job, Sean.
Well, best to Bernie and his family. Hope they're enjoying their night. There's a strike to. Oh no, that's a ball. That looked like a strike.
Yeah, must have been high.
Sweeney thought it was a strike. Herndon thought it was a strike.
The guy that matters didn't.
No, he really didn't. Here comes Charlie Manuel. Phillies did have bullpen action with Hideki Matsui scheduled to hit. So they had a left-hander loosening up in the pen. I'll take a look one more time. It's a ball, according to Joe West. It was a little high, yeah. So ball 4. And now a pitching change. David Herndon's night is done. The Phillies will go to a left-hander here in the top of the 8th. 2 outs, a runner at first. Juan Perez will make his Citizens Bank Park debut in a Phillies uniform. It's an AT&T call to the bullpen. Back in stock, the Philly Fanatic Pillow Pen. This high-quality, super soft plush collectible is now available by calling 877-GO-PHILS or by visiting the Majestic Clubhouse store. Got the Fanatic Attic and the Majestic Clubhouse stores. Great items, including the pillow. Juan Perez in his second ball game in a Phillies uniform. Lefty against lefty.
Yeah, he's in here for one hitter and hopefully it'll end the inning.
Yeah, he throws a slider to Matsui for strike. It's 0-1.
I talked about him last night in that game in St. Louis. He can throw some knee buckling breaking balls, and then he can be all over the place. You don't know what you're going to get from him. That pitch right there is as good a pitch you can throw to a left-handed hitter. You're not going to hit it.
Throws it again, and Matsui lays off. This time it was outside. 1-1.
Stutz up again, and he would be up. He is up for Connor Jackson on deck, a right-handed hitter.
Matsui's numbers against lefties this year. 5 of his 6 home runs have come against the left-hander.
There he goes. The first one was really nasty, and then a slider miss, and that looked like That may have been a fastball.
Here's Michael Stutz. And a slider for strike 2.
That's a really good pitch. And I probably caught too much of the plate on that one. But you saw Matsui, who, as you said, Tom, can hit left-hander. He froze on that. They can get him to chase.
2-2 the count with a runner in first. Line drive toward right field. Here comes Dominic Brown. Makes the running grab, and the side is retired. He threw another slider. He gets Matsui. The inning is finished. So one batter up, one batter down for Perez. We go to the bottom of the 8th here in Philly. Plus, meet Nikola Vucevic, the Sixers' first-round draft pick. Get all the news Philly fans need to know on Sports Night, presented by Toyota, tonight at 10, only on Comcast Sportsnet. Now, Vucevic was here at the ballpark before the ball game, and he was here with Lavoy Allen, who was also selected by the Sixers. Lavoy, of course, out of Temple University. He had a tremendous career for Fran Dunphy. Michael Eric was here, too. He's part of that Temple basketball squad. Both really tall dudes.
I think John Vukovic would have liked that.
Vucevic?
Yeah.
Vucevic?
He'd have been a big follower of his.
Well, he would have had to look up because he was really tall. Joey Devine is the new pitcher for the A's. 17th ball game for Devine. He's been good out of the pen.
Missed 2009, 2000, and 2010 Tommy John surgery. He has not thrown a home run ball since 2006. To give you an idea how long ago that was, the guy who hit it, Moises Alou.
Wow.
Of course, he missed a couple seasons, but he does keep the ball in the yard if you're thinking about a homer right now.
Fly ball down the left field line. And Sizemore can't get it. It's 0-2. Well, Devine at one time was a bright prospect in the A's organization. In fact, they had a couple guys that were coming up at the same time. Kyle Davies, Joey Devine. They just never panned out the way the Braves anticipated. A's bullpen, 9th best earned run average in Major League Baseball. The Phillies have the 8th best ERA.
77 games, 75 and 2/3 innings, 307 batters without a homer.
And a breaking ball outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, he has not had a good month of June. He's allowed 5 earned runs in 9 2/3 here in June. Let's see if that continues. Load fouls it away. Two and two the count. Line drive, diving play by Pennington. He made the catch out of the air. One away. Well, for a team that's not considered that great defensively, they've made some pretty good plays tonight.
They sure have. This ball looks like a base hit off the bat too. And full extension, tremendous play by Pennington, the shortstop.
That ball was past him.
Yeah. Another look at it. You know, they playing real deep. Nobody on base. So that's why he's able to have an angle like that and cut it off.
So one out. Here's Rollins. Rollins is 0 for 3. He was robbed by Ryan Sweeney. That was back in the third. Here's the way this game is laid out. The Phillies have had some base runners tonight. They haven't had one in scoring position. On the other side, for the A's, they've had a couple in scoring position. In fact, overall, they've had 3.
Been a lonely night for the third base coaches.
Rollins hits one in the air to center. And Sweeney's there. There are 2 outs. So 2 away. Here's Placido Polanco. Sellout number 164 in a row here at the park. That doesn't include the postseason. Pretty impressive stuff. Polanco is 1 for 2. He has one of the 2 hits for the Phils, and he takes low.
Yeah, he got their first hit, the one that broke up the no-hitter that Moscoso had going in the 6th inning with 1 out. And Sizemore, the third baseman, guarding the line. Big hole in the left side for Polanco. They don't want to give up that extra base hit down the line.
Swing and a miss, and it's 1 and 2.
He basically throwing sinker, hard fastball, and then that's his curveball, more of a curveball type slurve.
Sinker, though, is at 94, 95 miles per hour. Chase Utley's on deck. Joey Devine back in 2005 was a first-round pick for the Braves. Came to the A's in 2008. The 3-2 pitch to Polanco. Down low, ball 4. So he's on base for the 3rd time. 2nd time he's walked. And that keeps the inning alive for Chase Utley. So with 2 outs and a runner at first. Utley's 0 for 3. Hit a ball down the left field line toward the corner his last time up at Matsui tracked down. Low ball one. I think Suzuki may have been crossed up on that pitch. Goes out to the mound very quickly. Other than that, he was just reminding Devine of something. He just kind of caught that ball awkwardly.
Yeah.
On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, later on tonight, Florida will be the home team in Seattle.
Things aren't going bad enough for them, huh? They have a concert there tonight.
A U2 concert this weekend.
So they got kicked out of the ballpark. Have to go 3,000 miles, or however many miles it is from Florida, for a home game. Of course, they didn't expect to be in the funk they're in right now when they had to go out and do it.
Outside, 2 balls and 1 strike.
And how about Seattle? They left after playing the Phillies, flew to New York, and then went home. Got swept in New York, then flew back home. Washington, I mean.
Ryan Howard talking to Charlie Manuel. Two and one, the count to Utley. Outside, 3-1.
They said this guy does not throw home run balls, but here's a great spot for Chase Utley to look for something in the zone and hit it hard. That's a good take pitch. You know, if you're going to separate home plate like maybe he was trying to do there, that's the part you don't swing at. You still have another pitch.
Yeah, because he couldn't pull that pitch the way it was. At least it would have been difficult to do it.
Right, and Polanco's not necessarily the guy you're going to score with a double, even with 2 outs.
So it's 3-2. Polanco will be off and running on this pitch. Jackson holds him on. There he goes. And a check swing by Utley. They appeal. No swings as the third base umpire, Chad Fairchild. Back-to-back walks now by Devine. Phillies have first and second with 2 outs.
They went back-to-back. I mean, they went up with a breaking ball there. 3-2 with Ryan Howard on deck in a scoreless game.
Well, Ron Romanek, the pitching coach for the A's, out to the mound to talk to Joey Devine. Kurt Young was the longtime pitching coach for the A's. Now, he left before this year started, and he's over in Boston, so we'll see him this week. He's part of Terry Francona's staff. Young was brought in when Ken Maka was the manager of the A's.
Yeah, and they need a new pitching coach this year when John Farrell took the job as manager of the Toronto Blue Jays, a long-time pitching coach for Terry Francona.
So here's Howard, 0 for 3. He's grounded out twice. He struck out.
Well, if he hurts them here, you go back to the 3-2 breaking ball that they just threw to Utley. Did not want to challenge him in that spot, and now they're going to go after Ryan Howard with the base runner closer to scoring now at second.
And now there's a lefty that gets up and starts to toss. A breaking ball in the outside corner. They have Breslow and Fuentes. They're 2 lefties out of the pen.
Phillies have never done much with Brian Fuentes. There's your go-ahead RBIs, and Ryan Howard, #1 with 20. Like to make it 21.
The 0-1 pitch from Devine. Hit on the ground, softly to first. Connor Jackson gobbles it up, and the Phillies lead 2 here in the 8th. No runs, no hits. 2 men left. We go to the 9th. It's still a scoreless game. these teams struggle somewhat offensively, particularly with runners at scoring position, and that's been the case tonight. Some pretty good pitching as this game is scoreless as we head to the ninth. Michael Stutz will come out of the pen for the Phillies. The right-hander in his 25th ball game, a 2.38 earned run average. This will be his 25th game. And he's on to face Connor Jackson, David DeJesus, and Kurt Suzuki. And the first pitch over for a strike. It's 0-1. Vance Worley started. He went 6 innings. He allowed just a hit. He walked 4, struck out 4. Then David Herndon, an inning and 2/3 scoreless. Juan Perez, a third of an inning scoreless. And now it's Stutz, and it's 0-2. Jackson tried to check or tried to hold, and he went around, according to Joe West. 1 away here in the ninth. He can't believe it.
No, he was thinking, well, I didn't swing at that. How about appealing it? And Joe says, no, I got it all the way as he chased the breaking ball there. According to the veteran home plate umpire. Did he go or not? You wouldn't want that to be called on your guy.
No. It looked like he may have held. It looked like the body took him forward, toward the plate a little, toward the mound a little bit. There's a strike to David DeJesus. It's 0-1.
Yeah, it looked like one you might think about appealing.
DeJesus is 0 for 3. He's flied out twice.
All that said and done, Joe's a really good ball and strike umpire, and he's been very consistent here tonight. He doesn't have a whole lot of problems with players on balls and strike. He gets in more trouble on the bases, I think, than he does behind the plate. Just some strange stuff tends to happen.
Yeah, he's given the outside part of the plate tonight, but he's done it from the start of this game. Slider and a called strike 3. Good morning, good afternoon, and so long.
Yeah, he's got a good breaking ball tonight. He's got both his outs on sliders. Crowd getting into the Stutz thing here now. Here's another breaking ball. That's a good pitch to a left-handed hitter. He just froze him. That was a strike. And then Joe rung him up.
So 2 strikeouts for Michael Stutz. Here's Suzuki, who has a hit tonight. Only his second hit on the road trip. He's 2 for 12 now for the A's. Takes a slider outside. It's 1-0. In the Phillies' half of the ninth, it's Victorino, Ibanez, and Brown. And it looks like it's going to be against Brian Fuentes. At least he's warming up. Popped up. Right side of the infield. It's Chase Utley's call, and he puts it away. And Michael Stutz pitches a 1-2-3 ninth inning. It's a pretty good pitching tonight by the Phils and the A's. We go to the bottom of the ninth in a scoreless game. For the ninth, Coco Crisp comes into the ball game to play center field. The center fielder Ryan Sweeney shifts over to right. And the new pitcher for the A's is Brian Fuentes. It is 36th ball game. It hasn't gone all that well for Fuentes this year. 1-7 with a 4.59 earned run average. Now, he has never given up a run to the Phillies in 13 career appearances. That's 9 2/3, 3 hits, 6 walks, though. And he has struck out 13 during that time.
Yeah,
he has a blown save, excuse me, Wheels, but that's because he allowed an inherited runner to score.
Right. He's going to turn Victorino around. Then they go left with Ibanez and Brown. And against left-handed hitters, they're hitting .293 off him this year. Surprising.
He hasn't had a good season. So Victorino, .292 average, takes on the inside corner. It's 0-1. Fuentes and Bob Guerin, the previous manager for the A's, they didn't really see eye to eye. Oh, and 1 the count to Victorino.
This guy had some good years with Colorado, and then one year he just blew sky high. Like 3 straight games he pitched where there were walk-off hits against him, and he lost his closer's role.
Went to the Angels. Struggled at times there, too. Pitched well from time to time. Victorino out in front, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, he is the all-time saves leader in Colorado history. Jose Jimenez with 102 is second. Then Houston Street, the current closer for Colorado.
Yeah, he used to be a closer for the Athletics.
1-2 the count to Victorino. And he fouls it back just to our right. Nice catch by a fan. And it remains 1-2. Ibanez on deck. Funny, with all the success Fuentes has had against the Phillies, there aren't too many guys who have a lot of at-bats against him. Victorino's 0 for 1. It's hard not to jump at what he throws to the plate.
Yeah, it looks like he lands before he throws it. He takes the ball out of the glove kind of funny. Oh. A 2-2 off-speed pitch there to him, breaking ball maybe, and now he's at a full count with another fastball count. One of these hitters, you hope to make them pay for this.
Ball 4, Victorino's aboard.
Boy, Joe West didn't like Fuentes' reaction then, and you see Melvin right there. He's yelling at him too. Hey Joe, and the head went around. He says low.
It's really close. I mean,
really close.
It looked like it could have been a strike, but it wasn't.
No, from their perspective over there, they didn't think it was low.
Now there have been 5 stolen bases in 6 attempts against Fuentes as he delivers a strike to Ibanez. He has a slide step, which makes it a little more difficult to steal against him. Last time the Phillies were involved in a scoreless game through 9. They won 2-0 in 2010 against the Cardinals in 11.
Well, we've talked about that game a lot lately. I mean, that game, you know, was the one last year that they won it, and then that catapulted them to a heck of a year after that.
That's the game that Cole Hamels started out in St. Louis.
Sure, it was the final game of that 4-game series. They'd lost the first 3. No bunt here from Ibanez.
0-2 the count.
Just trying to hope that they can get him going here and he can pull a ball in the hole, maybe get a first and third. You know, he's not a guy who bunts anyway. Can he even bunt? Who knows? And you have another left-handed hitter on deck. Now you do have, you know, some right-handed. You have right-handed hitters on the bench. Oh, he had the pitch to pull. Oh, did Fuentes make a mistake? And he slapped at the ball that they just threw back to him like, oh, I got away with that. Look at this spinner coming middle in. Oh, pull me, it says. And he did, but couldn't keep it fair. That is not where he wanted it.
Well, let's hope he throws it there again.
Yep, he wants it away from him.
Victorino a very short lead off first. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Ibanez.
Board says he just threw a changeup, and that's another foolish, and not, I won't use the word foolish, but strange pitch, because that's a pitch you can pull because it's coming down and in. No wonder he had trouble with Guerin. Who's a catcher.
Bob's a nice guy, Bob Guerin, but he is opinionated too. 1-2 the count to Ibanez. Fly ball to left. Easy play for Matsui.
See, that's the point I was trying to make. He wanted to stay away from him so that he cannot pull the ball and get you a first and third. And that pitch is away, and he hit the fly ball to left.
So Ibanez is retired. And Dominic Brown will bat.
2 strike, you're really defensive, and that wasn't really a good pitch either. But, you know, he's just not swinging the bat at all. He could have pulled that pitch or done some damage with it, but not right now for Ibanez.
Dominic Brown 1 for 1. He's walked twice. And he takes a strike. It's 0-1.
Victorino showing no signs of running, and the only reason you can figure is there's another left-handed hitter up there with a hole open. And Fuentes has made mistakes where, you know, Ibanez could have pulled the ball. Look at all the room you have when you're a left-handed hitter right now to pull the ball. You don't have to hit it hard.
And a throw over. I was just wondering, you know, Shane has a very small lead over at first, and Fuentes just threw over there. I wonder if he just takes a normal lead, if he can get into the head of Fuentes, that there's a chance he could run. You know, maybe that splits his concentration a little bit. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Base hit into right field. Victorino to second. He'll stop there. And the Phillies have first and second with 1 out.
That's a nice job by Dominic Brown to pull the ball. That ball was in the air for a while, and I don't know whether that fooled him or not, so he couldn't get a better jump to get to third base.
Well, now Bob Melvin's going out with Brian Schneider due up.
Hits it off the end of the bat a little bit. As I said, it's got some hang time going out there, but it's hit to the left of the outfielder. Now he comes on and gets it in front of him, does Sweeney, and that stops Shane Victorino at second.
There's been Francisco. He'll pinch hit for Stutz if it gets that far. Brian Schneider is the batter. Victorino's at second. Boy, it would be nice to get him over to third with 1 out. Now they're not holding Dominic Brown on at first. They'll keep an eye on Victorino at second.
Yeah, they don't care about Brown.
Right. They want to make sure they cut the hole off.
Right. I mean, he's
ground ball toward first. Backing up on it is Jackson. He slips and he'll take it to the first base bag. So second and third, 2 outs, and Ben Francisco will be introduced as a pinch hitter for the Phillies.
And they have no right-hander up in the bullpen.
Well, here we go. A's nothing, Phillies nothing. Bottom of the ninth, 2 outs. The winning run is over at third. Francisco takes off the outside corner. And it's 1 ball and no strikes. Lays off 2-0. The 2-0 pitch. Ground ball over the head of the third baseman, Sizemore, and the Phillies are going to win the ball game. A pinch hit single for Ben Francisco brings home Shane Victorino, and the Phillies win it 1-0. How about that? The third baseman, Sizemore, was playing in just a little bit, and that ball chopped at the right spot for Francisco to bring home Shane Victorino.
Yeah, he was up. He was up at third base, and you know, if he's all the way back, it's a big old high one hopper right at him. As you said, he was up, and the ball bounces over his head, and a big win for the Phillies there as they're able to bleed this game out. That looked like a big old AstroTurf hop, and you see he's playing on the grass. I don't know. That's just a decision on where you're going to play your infield, or why they would do that with 2 outs. In this case, it backfired. He almost falls down, but it wasn't going to matter because he could have crawled to first base.
An RBI single for Ben Francisco breaks home Victorino. The Phillies win the opener of this series. And Sarge is down on the field with Ben. Take it away, Sarge.
Hey, guys, thanks a lot. Well, wasn't a lot of hits, game-winning hit. Got to make you feel good here for the team.
Yeah, it was a good pitching game. Our bullpen stepped up a lot of innings and kept the 0 up there, and we squeaked one across.
Now, what was the pitch you hit for the base hit?
Just a fastball. I was looking for heater 2-0, and I threw it. Luckily got over his head.
Now, when the team's not hitting like this, Ben, and you're on the bench, I know that you're looking. Any advice at all that you give to the guys that you see that's going up to the plate if they're pulling off of the ball a little bit?
Yeah, we're always talking to each other. We try and help each other out if we see something. Guys do it for me, and I like to do the same for them.
Well, continued success. Great game-winning hit. Hope to have you on more. Tom, Wills?
All right, Sarge, thank you very much. That's a clutch pinch hit for Ben Francisco. He spun his wheels as he left the box. He doesn't always show a lot of emotion, but he was pretty excited about this victory for the Phillies.